What's up, Freedom Family? Are you living free? If you're here for the first time, my name is Troy L. Jackson III, and if you are here, you have chosen to live free. And if you stay, welcome to the Freedom Family. In this house, you guys all know, a message from your brother from another mother, financial freedom is for everyone. And in this family, we get personal. Today, I'm going to be telling you the details of how I managed to go $152,000 into debt. But that's not all. I'm also going to be talking about, in my personal story, how I managed to get out as well. So stay tuned. This story begins a few years ago when I was a fresh college grad. I always told myself I wanted to change the narrative. I wanted to be different. I wanted to take the bad financial decisions that my family made in the past and do something different. I told myself it is easy. See everything that they did that was wrong and do the opposite. Do different. Easy enough, right? But it is always easier said than done. I learned that the reality is it takes about 5 minutes to get yourself into debt. And we all know that in today's world, some people never get themselves out. Just a few years ago, I was a fresh college grad, high ambition, goals and dreams a mile long, a newly minted accountant who thought that he had all the financial stuff in the bag, and I truly thought I was securing it, secure the bag. But we all know that debt is just like a gateway drug that compounds poor financial decisions and turns them into lifelong golden handcuffs that never let you go. I had already had $47,000 in student loans that I thought nothing of. Why? Because for the last 4 years, at the whisk of a wrist, the government had paid my tuition and had gotten me my degree. And what did my financially intelligent self go and do? Well, I added another $21,000 in car loans as a graduation present that I thought I deserved. So pause. If you've been listening from the beginning, you heard what I said. I wanted to be different. I wanted to change the narrative. I didn't want to do the same things that my family had done in the past. Unpaid student loans from degrees that they no longer pursue or completed. Unpaid car loans that are compounding with interest upon interest upon interest on cars that they don't even have or that don't even work. And the grandpappy of it all, credit card debt. Thousands upon thousands of dollars spent on things that were probably thrown away and lavish stuff long forgotten. This was the financial trap I was trying to avoid. But what was I doing? Playing right into the trap. Because you do know what? I did not even stop there at the student loans and the car loans. Just a few months later, I find myself signing on the dotted line for $84,000 mortgage debt. Crazy, right? Less than 5 months after graduation. If you were counting, that's $152,000 in total debt. 22 years old, barely a month into my first job, and I was just racking it up. $84,000. The frosting on the big old debt cake. I was quickly digging myself a debt hole. Because you see, at that point, my debt payments per month were a whopping $1,400 per month. It only took me a few months to realize that paying $1,400 of money a month on debt was not sustainable. And why? Because that new house that I bought, it came with bills. And not only that, it seemed like stuff was breaking every single week. And on top of that, the expensive car insurance for a 20-year-old, plus the maintenance, gas, and registration fees each year. Man, cash was just being burnt up, not only by debt, but all the stuff that the debt was attached to. And don't even get me started on my student loans. Yes, I was making the payment, but $80 was all that was going to paying off the principal. $80 a month? By that rate, it would take forever for me to pay off the student loans. Well, you see, many people would be in that moment, and for them, that would be their sick and tired moment. Month after month of paying $1,400 to debt, only to have something in the house break, only to have something in the car need to be repaired, and only seeing your student loan payment drop, only see your student loan debt amount drop by a few dollars here and there. You would think that was the sick and tired moment. Well, for me, that was just the moment that the light bulb went off. When I realized that being in consumer debt only causes you stress, anger, and pain. You see, for me, my sick and tired moment only came a few days after that. Listen close, Freedom Family, and I want you guys to comment down below if you have ever felt the same. My biggest fear in life is making a decision that has a negative effect on my family or my family's future ability to live life abundantly. You see, before I got married, my wife made it very clear. After she graduated college, she was ready to start her life. You see, at that time, she still had about 1.5 years left to go in college, but she was really excited about being able to graduate and getting her degree. She felt like her degree was going to be her only obstacle, keeping her from starting the next stage of her life, adulthood. And she was clearly hinting at me and saying in a subliminal message, I want to get married and start a family. So later that night, I had a mini panic attack as I realized that $1,400 is a negative decision that would affect my future's family ability to live life abundantly. That was my bad decision that would affect them negatively in the future. My family wasn't even here yet, but I knew it would affect them negatively. Why? It could keep us from getting a better house. It can keep us from going on vacations whenever we wanted to. It would keep us from having the wedding when we did get married that we wanted, because we would be too concerned about having to pay back $1,400 in debt. Debt is quite literally a past decision that affects your present and keeps you from your future. 4 years ago, when I was going to college, I made a poor choice, not more doing my due diligence and picking a more cost-efficient college. I made a poor choice when I decided to buy a car with a loan versus buying a used car for cash. And even though my house is indeed an asset, this house purchase would keep me most likely from getting a better home with my future wife and my future family. I would not be the husband nor father whose bad financial decisions affected his family's future. I remember the promise I made to myself to change my family tree, to change the narrative, to build a legacy that my family can be proud of. That was the moment that I decided to change. That was my sick and tired moment. That was the moment that I was gonna change the narrative. If you made it this far in the video, you are clearly representing the Freedom Family. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you keep hitting that notification bell if you wanna know exactly when these type of videos are released. Here I am 4 years later. For a brief moment before my wife and I bought this home, I was 100% debt free. And that came from me spending 2 years while my wife was still finishing up college, ferociously demolishing debt. It's a weird feeling being debt free. It's a weird feeling, I gotta say. Over those 2 years, I literally spent every waking moment of my time and energy paying off debt. And when we became debt free, it was like a huge sigh of relief. Literally, I felt like my life was like, it was such a surreal moment. Freedom family, we absolutely have to change the narrative. If you're a citizen of America, you would know that we are over $1.4 trillion in car debt. We are $1.6 trillion in student loan debt. And combined, we have a $4.5 trillion in all consumer debt for America. Freedom family, don't let the past decision of debt stop you from your future. Me, my wife, and our now 1-year-old daughter, we now focus on building net worth and passive income. We no longer let debt affect our future. I have forever changed my family tree, and I am now creating a legacy that my wife and daughter and future generations will be proud of. This video is mainly just my debt freedom story, but if you want to know exactly how I got out of debt, like the step by steps, make sure you subscribe and join the Freedom Family. Also, I'll be sharing with my Freedom Family exactly how a 22-year-old was able to buy a home just 5 months out of college, and also just a year and a half later able to buy another home. And I also have a funny story about how I boosted my credit by 150 points throughout this whole time period of being in college and buying my first home. That story has some crazy twists and turns, and it's really peculiar how credit even works. So make sure you subscribe, like this video, and hit the notification bell so you know exactly when these videos will come out. And once again, Freedom Family, don't forget, we have to change the narrative. We have to create a legacy, and we have to change our family tree. You want to create a legacy so strong that your great grandchildren will say, man, my grandparents were legit bosses. And as we always say, in this house, financial freedom is for everyone. Live free, Freedom Family.